Hello, guys. Hi, guys. This is Chris here in Manila. I'm actually in a place called Mandaluyong, and it's part of the Metro Manila area, basically. Now, this part here in Mandaluyong is actually a smaller area that you'll find a lot of foreigners come because it's quite well laid out. It has all the facilities. It has like small groups and climbing and small party areas. You can see, you won't see right now. I'll show you in a minute. But really, it's a place that seems to be well grafted and crafted for foreigners wanting to have a certain amount of comfort, you know, that's not just provincial or just sort of like the outside of the city. This is Metro Manila, and it has not the richest, wealthiest area, Mandaluyong, but it certainly has, should I say, it's established itself in such a way that you will see more foreigners around here, certainly married ones with girlfriends or whatever else, with even children. And as I said, they've kind of like established themselves in such a way that they have a club where they have climbing clubs, they have like Saturday children parties and events where you can do like karaoke or KTV type of thing, and it's constant. There's even a food area in the corner. Literally, this guy's probably like about a kilometer in complete area size, and they've got from markets, outside markets. They've got main mega malls. They've got like event areas. They've got climbing walls. They've got inside external sports arenas and stuff like that. So it really is pretty cool. The more I stay here, the more I'm beginning to appreciate it as a comfort. And I think if we're honest about it, everybody wants comfort. And we're talking of regardless of your age. I mean, you travel abroad, and I've done that. I've been to China, I've been to Ukraine before the war, I've been to Australia, and the list goes on. But the point I'm trying to make here is that wherever you go, initially you've got the onset of like excitement and you want to do things and yeah, okay, let's check this out, let's get on this, let's try the buses, let's try the tuk-tuk, let's try the bikes, the cars and buses, whatever, right? You do all this, but I think effectively you'll find that it comes to a kind of like a quote where it's not so much enjoyable anymore. It becomes a task, it becomes a routine, and routines get boring no matter what you do and where you can go from one shopping mall to another, one city to another, and after a while, in a particular area, demarcation area, or city or town or country, it still reflects the same thing. And I find that when I travel, and I've been here in the Philippines now for coming close to 15 months, and I've seen a lot of the islands from Palawan to Bohol, Tagbian, Cebu, Lapu-Lapu, you name it, it's like all done. And each of them, though they have their intrinsic qualities, there is still a like for like sake. In other words, the food's the same, the kind of style of living quarters is the same. Maybe less, more or less offerings in terms of its value or its what it offers in terms of utilities, etc. May not quite match. The beds may not be the same. The quality of your sleep may be noisier because there's cockroaches outside, or city noise, or people on bikes and cars bleeping their horns. There's different stuff, but effectively, it is a standardization. And I've come and got used to it now, and I like it. But there are times I really just need to step away from it, not be anywhere where any of these things really affect you. And sometimes that could only be a room, or that could be like I would go 5 kilometers down the road. I get a bike down. I don't not ride a bike, but a hire bike. Like Ankas or Joyride or Smart Ride. There's quite a few options you have here, to get a bike, and it takes me like 25 minutes. I'm there. I'm right on the seaside promenade. I've done videos for this as well. I'm literally, just for me as an ex-sailor, being able to look out at the sea and see Mother Nature just sitting there with some boats on it, the sunrise, sunset, whatever time of the day it is, and watch people walking up and down, and they're enjoying this kind of quintessential beauty and local feel, of calmness, of serenity, of having a meal, a local meal or an international one, or just walking along the promenade and enjoying and stopping and playing, with the kids, or climbing the trees in the small park. It's very, very nice. And to me, it just gives me that space. It relinquishes me from the daily grind. I'm not saying it's a grind as in hard work, but as in repetitiveness. And I think most foreigners actually would say repetitiveness does grind on you. So you need to make things exciting. I mean, I'm constantly trying to do that. I mean, I'm doing like weight training a lot more now, like 5 times a week. I do Tai Chi and stuff like that as well. But that again becomes a routine. So I've kind of stripped myself away from it. I've moved to the gyms, and I'm fortunate to actually find the gym here that's a pretty good price. I'll let you know this now, guys. Is that most gyms here in the Philippines are reasonably expensive, quite expensive. You're talking like the Fitness First and these walk-in gyms, which are not really walk-in because you still have to pay a month in advance. You got to pay for a special electronic key that allows you to swipe to get in the door if, say, it's out of hours or something. And they charge you a lot for the keys, like 2,000 for 6 months. Then you got to pay entry every time you go into the place, even though you pay a subscription price of, I don't know, maybe 7,000 for an annum. You still have to go in and pay a little bit for maybe the water or access point, or it's just one thing after another just accumulates. And before you know it, you're spending like 10,000 a year, which you may not say is a lot, but it is in the Philippines. Either way you look at it. I mean, I'm not holding back on money, but you still need to have some sort of understanding of your finances. And just because you're in the Philippines or anywhere that's the pound to dollar or dollar to pesos gives you better returns, you still need to be financially smart. There's no way you should ignore that. I've seen so many people here who go on that road, blitz themselves, and end up in shit street. I'm not doing that. So this is just financial education and financial intelligence. You need to always keep that in the forefront wherever you're traveling, wherever, whichever country it is. The minute you forget that is the time that you're going to start suffering, which means you're then going to be left to go back home and probably even have to find money, asking people, borrowing from friends, family. That shit's not, it's not going to cut the mustard, certainly not for me. So getting back to where we are now. I was going to talk about Starbucks. I'm not really a furious or intense Starbucks drinker or follower, but I had an interesting chat today with a young, he's a postgraduate. He's probably about 21. He's just come out to have a 10 minutes, 15 minutes break, and I had a chat with him. And what I found out was like he was telling me about it, how it works, and I thought, this is another perspective I wasn't clear about. I didn't know actually. Is that here in the Philippines, at least, Starbucks tend to employ a lot of these what's called part-time workers, and that's a combination of people who are just going to work so many days a week or weekends, or uh, graduates or students who have certain limited hours to be working to make money where they're studying. So Starbucks has somehow incorporated their hours and build flexibility into their hours so they can earn money, they can learn a trade, and they can understand the finances of business. Certainly communicating socially and on a business level with customers coming in, ordering stock, replenishing things, uh, interacting with customers of all countries. And I think this is brilliant. This is a very good thing, I have to say. Ticks the box for me for Starbucks. International companies, big as they are, you got the Costa, and lots of other ones. They just don't have that same system working. But Starbucks have set this up because they can see, the long-term benefits of it. Also, what they're creating is a great localization and feedback to those in that country. When people see value for money, value for investment, value for getting involved in a company that's it's top notch, really. They're top notch. They give things here that he was telling me. They give things like they cover them for health and injuries and sickness and stuff like that. They get bonuses on sales. Though the prices, he said, he knows it's a little bit expensive, but he still thinks that the quality and the decor and the general feel of Starbucks shops really gives you that sense of, you know, higher than the average ones that you walk to. That's what it does. It gives you that sense of uh, business like, but also that social aspect as well. And I think it's brilliant that that's something that they seem to work hard at achieving, and they have achieved that. So going back to what this young lad was telling me, Alex, he was saying that yeah, he's glad that they're offering this here in the Philippines because so many students they really don't know what to do, and unless they have experience, you can't really find a job, and unless you have a degree, most companies here in the Philippines they all want a degree for the most menial job. You could just be working in a shop. You could just be um, doing some sales on the streets. They want a degree person. How the hell does that work? How can you have a degree? Everybody have a degree in a country that don't have access. People don't have access in the provinces to A, the finances, B, the infrastructure of going to a university or a college or something. They don't have that. So the fact that they've set this level and this standard screws up most of the people. I would say 60 or 70% of the people in the Philippines don't have a chance. They're never going to get their foot in the door because of this ridiculous stature and structure, right? So they end up having to do begging or doing like trading on the streets with their trolleys and things. And that doesn't give anybody who has possibilities and the desire to create a business and find a way to get an opportunity and a break to be able to excel in something they could be very good at. And I think personally, from working in China, having my own business as well, is that most of the people who work very hard are the ones who don't have a lot or very little because they know what it's like to be at the bottom of the barrel. They know what it's like to not have anything. So the fact that they know the only way is up. And up means working hard, means getting your head around what you need to learn, learning things, applying yourself, and putting the hours in. And I'll give that to most people I've met in China, at least. And I'm seeing here in the Philippines, people, the youngsters are really getting in their heads into it. Given the chance, they work at it and they really put the hours in, you know, and get on with it. So this young lad was explaining to me he's been there 5 months and he says he's enjoying it. He says he's learning so much about business, how things are, interactions. And I really have to say, this is a big plus. He said to me, "What do you think of Starbucks?" I said, "I like it." I said, "I don't drink a lot of it, but when I do have it, I'm never disappointed. I'm always pretty happy about the quality." Now, what I do find a bit of a setback here in the Philippines, at least, and I've not witnessed it anywhere else in any other countries I've been to, is that their price is still high. And regardless of which country you're in, if your price is high, you need to maintain what you offer. And in this case, in the Philippines, they don't offer internet service. So, because the infrastructure in the Philippines, period, the networks and the infrastructure with internet system is really poor. You get more blackouts and brownouts here than anything else. Even in the big cities like Cebu, Mandaluyong, down to Lapu-Lapu, Dumaguete, all these places, they all suffer blackouts, brownouts, whatever you want to call it, um, of internet's dropping out, power outages, water problems. That kind of shit happens a lot, water pressure. So I know, I guess you could say Starbucks are tied by the environment they're in because they can't change the infrastructure. But what they do have, and I've noticed this, is that they have maybe an intranet, which is not the same as an internet. An internet is where you connect externally to other devices, internationally global. An intranet is where you connect within a company. There's no externalization of that. It's where companies operate within themselves. They have an internet or called an intranet so that the employees and the boss and all that can talk to each other and they have a security factor and that's second to none. Now, going back to what I was saying about the guys telling me, here, because Starbucks has set its standards, right? Its price ranges. it kind of rubs a little bit on me, grates a little bit, because I think, to me, when I was traveling, the first thing I think about, even in Hong Kong, China, whatever it is, the minute I'm stuck and I want to do something and I check the internet or I want to do an update or upload something, the first place I went to was to race to a Starbucks, because I know, hey, the quality of the Wi-Fi is going to be good, the layout, the decorations, the coffee, the environment was perfect for what you need to do as a traveler and a business person, right? So to actually find that doesn't operate here, it's a kick in the shins. So because of the internet service here, it means that Starbucks can't really set up that level or quality or even bother to set up internet system, because they know that people be complaining about its quality, failures, etc. So they've omitted to stand away from it, completely out of it. I don't blame them for that. But what should happen is not to be able to maintain the same pricings as you would do in other countries that do allow them to set up internet service. They should offer a discount on their shops here, because you're not offering the same expectations anywhere else. So they haven't done that, which means that they still believe, people believe they're living on the name, the icon, the Starbucks namesake. And I think they need to change that in the Philippines until the infrastructure gets better. The internet service then becomes a proviso and they can operate that way. That's my only setback. Other than that, they're pretty cool. So, guys, I'm going to call it a day now. And that's just my input and my basic opinions of Starbucks. It's not a bad place. Working conditions are good. The coffee is good. The environment's good. It's always bloody freezing in these shops, though. I've always noticed that. And I think they do this for a purpose. I think it's a business representative here. It's probably to make you feel cold after you drink your coffee, to either go and buy another one or leave the shop and get more people in. A high turnaround. So there's something going on there, right? And it's normally pretty cold, like 18 degrees, and that's a lot. When you're sitting for an hour, 2 hours in there, you're going to feel the cold no matter what you're wearing. So that's my kind of setback on that. But all in all, I'm happy. I'm chilling out here. It's a rainy day coming and going. It's cloudy, warm, but it's still really, really nice. If I was in the UK now, I'd be freezing my butt off. And you'd be sitting there with coats on and shit, in a bleak, grey, horrible place. So those grey, I like that. You still got activities going around you. There's much more a social interaction. So I like that. So guys, I'll call it a day then, and I hope you enjoy the video. Any comments, let me know. Anything you want me to cover, write it down there and just say, give me more. Thanks for your help, guys. So have a great day and a fantastic weekend. And don't work too hard for the coming week. Chris here in Mandaluyong. Ciao.